Hello! In today's video we're going to turn this into this using my all-time favourite crafting tool, the humble carving knife. Ideally for this project you want some 2cm thick XPS foam, but I didn't have any to hand, so I had to fix the problem with some wood glue. Once your pieces are glued together it's going to take some time to dry and you want as tight a bond as possible, so stacking some heavy books on top and leaving it to dry overnight is ideal. You should then have a solid 2cm thick piece of XPS foam to work with. For anyone who wants to give this project a try, the piece that I am working with is 13.2cm by 13.2cm square, and for the cutting pattern that I am drawing on top of the foam, I'm going to be making that available as a template for anyone over on Patreon, or alternatively you can pause the video at any point and figure it out from the screenshot. As you can see, I have used the thickness of my steel ruler to create a cross down the centre, followed by 1cm spaced lines from that, and then using the end of my ruler to create triangle shapes from the central points and corners of the middle square. There are a lot of octagonal shapes found in dwarven structures, so I cut off the corners of the square. When using a knife to cut foam, you don't want to dig too deep into the foam. It's far better to make multiple passes over the foam with a knife, which will give you clean cuts that are pretty much as good as a Proxxon. This also applies when making the cuts into the centre parts of the foam, although here I am only cutting about 2/3 of the way through and then cutting in from the side to carve out the unwanted foam. This can be a bit tricky, so if you're trying this, make sure that your foam is secure and make slow, deliberate cuts. I then move into the next set of cutting lines, and this time only cutting into the foam about 1/3, which will create a step-like structure. And as far as the centerpiece is concerned, that is all of the most complicated cuts complete. Then it's time to carve in your brick and paving pattern using the knife and then a pen to widen the gaps. I tried to repeat the same pattern in each section to keep in with that theme of dwarven symmetry. In my head, this piece that I'm making is the central point of a cemetery for the dwarven kings of old, so I also wanted to include a massive carved standing stone in the middle. I think that they were called menhirs back in the day. I had a nice offcut of green styrodur which worked perfectly for this. I then wanted to lean into that dwarven theme by carving in some dwarven runes to each tomb, each letter representing an ancient dwarven king. I would be super impressed if anyone can figure out who they are supposed to represent, so if you have any ideas, let me know in the comments below. Then to finish off the standing stone, I simply draw in a texture to make it look like the standing stone has been roughly carved by the dwarves with pickaxes. Okay, on to the last piece of carving for our central tomb structure. We need some stone burial vaults to place on top of each plinth. Now for this section I really should be demonstrating good practice by wearing carving gloves, but I am so used to making these cuts now that the risk of cutting my thumb is very small, but if you're new to handling a knife in this way I would highly recommend gloves. As you can see, I've simply cut off the corners of a rectangle of foam, followed by carving a lip around the whole edge of the foam, which gives you quite a cool little tomb burial vault with a heavy stone lid. Once all 4 of these are carved, it's time to glue everything into place. For the central standing stone, I used a toothpick glued up through the centre just to give the structure a little more strength and stability once glued, followed by gluing all of the burial vaults into place and pinning them so that they don't move while drying. I have tried not pinning stuff before, and even if you don't touch it, for some reason things always seem to shift a little, so pinning is pretty much essential. So that's my little dwarven cemetery centerpiece done. I originally was going to finish the video there and just do a very quick tutorial, but I've been having so much fun using this carving knife again, it's been quite a while, so I've decided to make some more scatter terrain pieces to go with it. For that I have got some blocks of XPS foam that I'm going to hand carve into dwarven pillars, and that's kind of where this channel started. Also, because I'm reminded how cool this tool is, I've decided to buy a set of this and I'm going to do a giveaway in this video, so there'll be details of that just coming after this next little carving montage. So if you've been following my crafting journey for a while, you may have seen me carve these dwarven statues before. If the first piece I made in this video was level 1 carving, then this is a little bit of a jump and maybe up to level 3 or 4. It would be quite a long video if I included a step-by-step for this here, but if you want to learn how to carve these, I do actually have a full step-by-step tutorial here on the channel, which is linked above. I actually had forgotten how to make quite a few of these cuts, so I had to follow my own tutorial again. So if you're interested, go and check that out after this video. So this is the prize that I'm going to give someone on the YouTube channel today. We've got some brand new carving gloves, so you don't cut yourself. We've got some blocks of XPS foam, and what's this?
New carving tools.
Exactly. So we've got the carving knife that Daddy really likes. It's my favourite one. It's so useful and so nice and handy in your hand.
Now this one's my favourite.
Well, this one's for carving spoons. So if someone wants to carve a spoon, they can carve a spoon.
But how can you carve a spoon? Out of metal.
Out of wood. And this is for carving sticks and stuff. And we also have a leather strap and some compound. So that people...
so you can...
What do you think that's for?
For making your brass cleaner?
No, it's for sharpening the blade, to keep your blade nice and sharp. Because these are very sharp blades. So all that somebody has to do to win this is leave a comment below, and any comment that is below will count as an entry.
And they will get the prize.
Exactly. So if you want to nab yourself one of these really cool wood carving knives and some XPS foam carving blocks, then make sure to leave a comment below on this video.
Well lads, what do you think he's up to next? Looks to me like he's cutting some 3mm MDF. This lad has no clue what he's doing, hey? Now he's sanding the edges. No sense to me at all. You're right there, Balin. Total nut job. He has made quite a nice job of it, to be fair though. Aye, I suppose so, but what's with all that hot glue? Hey, wait a minute. Put me down, you big jobby. Oh nay, it's not too bad actually. Nice and warm. Check it out lads, I've got myself a brand new base. Oh, fancy pants, you'll never fall over the now. Hey, wait a minute, what's he got that blade for?
He's lost his heat band.
He's killing me, he's killing me.
No, darling. Oh, what's he doing to him? I can't believe it. I can't look, lads. I can't look.
What bad feeling about this, lads?
I've never seen
No,
such horror.
no.
I wasn't a big statue. I smashing his head on the leg.
Lost it. He's a dusty.
Oh, can't believe what I'm seeing. Oh, my. I'm never going to live it down. I know, man. I know.
Apologies for that little skit there. Apparently, according to Peter Jackson, all dwarves are Scottish, so no offence to anyone who's Scottish. Much better now. These are not going to get knocked over. Perfect for the tabletop. Alongside the bark and chipping that I used to create natural rocky textures, I wanted to make it look like the stone pattern continued out into the cemetery, so I carved and glued some more foam pieces, but in quite a messy way, kind of trying to give that impression of the passing of time and disrepair that will be covered by earth and grass. Then just glued on more bark clippings and dust to fill out the rest of the texture on the board. And with that, we are ready to paint the whole set. With the paint job, I'm really not following a particular paint scheme. I just have a set of colours that I use and I feel it out as I'm going along, using mostly grey, burnt umber, green grey and various lighter versions of these colours that have been mixed with white paint. While I'm completing this paint job, I just want to mention something that I forgot. Earlier when I spoke about the template for the Dwarven Tomb centerpiece being available on Patreon, it reminded me that in last week's video I failed to mention that the sconces that I used in that last project were designed by David from Terraintronics, and he has also made those available free to my Patreon members. So members, if you want those STL files, send me a message and I will sort you out. Speaking of Patreon, I want to say a huge thank you to all of the awesome supportive people scrolling across the bottom of the screen. Not only for helping me buy materials, but you guys are always there with a word of encouragement from me, and it really does help me keep this thing rolling. You guys are absolute legends. Right, rock textures and painting complete, let's get some flocking done. Using a static grass applicator here was a bit of overkill, no need for that at all. In fact, I kind of gave up on the applicator halfway through because it was just going everywhere and the results were only marginally better than sprinkling on. I also used a bit of Patchy Plains Base Ready from Geek Gaming Scenics. Also, another quick thank you that I just have to make is my wee helper, who's been popping up in my videos a lot more recently. She is really starting to take an interest and that encourages me a lot.
I think we should put some on top of here.
Okay. After this we need to do some grass tufts.
Does that mean bushes?
Well, we can put some bushes in as well. Do you want to do some bushes?
Yeah.
We can do some bushes.
Will this make that it's old?
It makes it look like it's old, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's perfect.
Boop. Are those little flowers?
Oh, yeah, it is little flowers. That looks great. Well done. Yeah, that's perfect. Look at that. Static grass, foam flock, grass tufts and clump foliage make a huge difference in a project like this. So easy to do, but leaves you with terrain fit for Middle-earth. And with these last few details, that is this week's project complete. Don't forget to drop me a comment below and smash the like button to be in with a chance to win the carving set. Honestly, the most useful set of carving tools I own. Also, if you fancy a hobby hangout sometime and would like to join my Discord server, request a link in the comments below and I'll sort you out. Last thing to mention is that this specific set of Dwarven Scatter terrain is for sale over on my eBay store, so if you're interested in buying this set, you can head over there. The link is in the description below. Thanks for watching guys, and until next we meet, Nal away, go van and vid.